what's up guys? I'm in a good mood today because I just finished graduate school and I no longer have to deal with the bullshit that is higher education in this country. We could talk about that, that's a subject for another time. I'm just so glad to be done. I'm so glad to be done going to class, not learning anything, and then thankfully I'm not spending money on it. I can't imagine paying $2,000 per grad class to be taught absolutely nothing because it's absolute bullshit. I get it free through my work, so lucky me. It was just a way to boost my resume, so I'm finally done with that, thank God. So I'm going to take a celebratory shot of Bacardi Black, a gift from my awesome coworker. I do have awesome coworkers, and it's a double shot I got from King's Dominion. Holds 2 shots. Actually, in some places these are the regular shot. You know, so I got to drink rum from Cuba. I got to drink rum from Cuba with my pirate shot glass, of course. I mean, that's only appropriate. So, cheers. 3 years, done with grad school. Good stuff. So, what are we going to talk about today? Ron Paul Liberty Report. And no, actually, I'm not going to bash the article. I actually agree completely with the article. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Ron Paul is one of my favorite politicians. He's the reason why I became a libertarian in the first place. Started getting interested in him in 2011, saw him in 2012, voted for him in the Republican primary back in 2012. But he didn't win, so I voted for Gary Johnson instead. But anyway, let's go on. The Afghan War and Opiate Addiction in America. The U.S. is on year 16 of its war in Afghanistan. There are American troops in Afghanistan that were just 2 years old when this misguided war began. Yeah, I remember. I was in 6th grade whenever they declared war. Actually, they didn't declare war. Why'd I even say that? Oh yeah, the rum. Whenever we went to war in late 2001, late 2001, I was only in 6th grade, so for more than half my life, I'm younger than I look. You know, the receding hairline is from stress, not age. Yeah, I was only 11 when they went to war, and now I'm 27, so for more than half my life, we've been fighting this absolutely retarded, fucking-ass, stupid-ass war. Complete waste of life from all sides. U.S. soldiers, Taliban soldiers, Afghan civilians, everyone died for nothing. It's just to prop up the U.S. global empire. Oh, we're getting off topic. I'm sorry. Not only does the Taliban control most of the country, but another deadly side effect has come from this disastrous war. So, after 16 years of fighting, our superior military, supposedly the best in the world, who can take any country on and win, they think they're the fucking best. 16 years later, we can't defeat redneck Afghans with AK-47s. They still control the vast majority of the country. What have we been doing all this time? Why don't we attack them? Why don't we go on the offensive right now? Just blitz the place. I don't understand how is this fucking possible? Oh wait, I know how it's possible. Because every time you kill Taliban insurgent, or even insurgent from any other group, you create 10 more terrorists. His friends, his family, his loved ones who are pissed off that this country, the U.S., halfway across the world, comes and invades you and props up a corrupt government who represses you all the time. In some ways, the Afghan government is just as bad as the Taliban government because they take away their rights, torture them, take away their freedom of speech, the freedom to a right and speedy trial, access to a lawyer. It's one of the most corrupt governments in the face of the planet. You know, so you rise up against this government, and then the global backers of this government, the only reason why the Afghan government exists in the first place is the U.S., you know, they come and attack you, and then they kill you, and then other people get pissed off, and this is why you cannot defeat an ideology with bullets. It's 16 years later. We have killed thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of Taliban insurgents from any other group, non-affiliated, any Afghan who wants to rise up against the corrupt government that puts his head down with their security force boots. This is why, that we can win every single battle on the battlefield and still be losing the war because they still control the vast majority of the country because the people are against us. They do not fucking like us. This is what the Soviets learned in the 1980s, what the British learned, I believe, in the 1910s, 1920s. When did the British control Afghanistan? Let's look that up. Oh, my friend Google. When did Britain control Afghanistan? What? Why can't you just give me an answer? 1800s. Let's just say, yeah, First Anglo-Afghan War, 1830, 1842. Yeah, so we didn't learn from them. We didn't learn from the Russians. We don't learn that, lo and behold, people don't want foreign troops in their country who have a vastly different culture, speak different language, different religion. They don't like them coming over and killing them. I can't believe that. I can't believe that's a thing. It's just like, we wouldn't like Russian. No. Russian is too much of a stereotypical boogeyman because of the whole Hillary Clinton thing. Let's pick another powerful country, Iran. Hypothetically, if Iran invaded us, different culture, different language, different religion, they come and invade us because we cyber attack them, which we have. And Hillary Clinton thinks that's an act of war. So if she was president, oh shit. But Iran invades us, occupies us, kills us, takes away our rights, props up a puppet government that answers directly to the Iranian regime. I'm going to take a gander and say that lots of Americans would be pissed the fuck off, and they would take up arms against this occupation. They would take up arms against a puppet government and take arms against the Iranian occupation forces. Exact same situation in Afghanistan. So that's why 16 years later, we're still fighting them because they don't fucking like us. That's not going to change. And they still control the vast majority of the country because the Afghanis like the Taliban more than us. Even though Taliban suck dick, they're cruel, oppressive. They think they're better than us. That's how bad we are over there. They'd rather take their chances with the Taliban, who don't have any air force, don't have aircraft carriers, jet fighters. They might have a couple of like armored vehicles. They don't have the mother of all bombs. They don't have mechanized infantry and tanks, so they'd rather Taliban win, and then we'll take our chances fighting them because they just have AK-47s and donkeys than the U.S. government. That's how much they hate us. When the U.S. overthrew the Taliban in the wake of 9/11 as part of its newly launched war on terror, it set the stage for the explosive growth of Afghanistan's dying opiate industry. A few short months before the invasion took place, the Taliban made headlines for having dramatically ended the country's massive opium trade after the leader of the fundamentalist group had declared that the substance to be un-Islamic. You know, I've read the Quran back to front, and there was no revelation, don't inject hair into your veins. Well, then I guess you can do it then. We didn't say not to. It's just your interpretation of a certain verse to not shoot heroin in you. But you can smoke weird substances in your hookah. Well, that's okay. Well, we're getting off topic here. I'm just pointing out how there's no Quranic verse saying, "Oh, Muhammad, lo and behold, don't shoot heroin in your veins." There's no verse. But despite being squashed by the Taliban, the opium market made a dramatic comeback. Back. I'm being so childish right now. But despite being squashed by the Taliban, the opium market made a dramatic comeback immediately following U.S. invasion in October 2001. Not only was opium trade restored, it surged drastically, rising from a production level of 185 tons under the Taliban to 3,400 tons in 2002. Wow. It's like our invasion directly resulted in a surge of heroin. Opium. Why did we invade again? Over a decade later, the amount of opium harvested annually continues to rise. Afghanistan's opium is now used to produce 90% of the world's heroin. This increase has been directly overseen by U.S. forces, who openly guard Afghanistan's poppy fields. Indeed, during the same time, the U.S. government claims to have spent $8.4 billion on counter-narcotic problems within Afghanistan. So just that paragraph, just by itself. Afghanistan produces 90% of the world's heroin. We guard the people making the heroin. Then we claim to be against this drug and spend $8.4 billion in fighting it. We're fighting our own protection of a service. And then we claim at home to be against this drug and the war on drugs. But the reason why there's heroin running around U.S. streets is because we're protecting the production of it in Afghanistan. So we protect a service, we let the service come over here, and then we fight it. So here's how the two are related. The reason why the U.S. government and U.S. military does that is to further the excuse to continue the war on drugs. If we actually controlled Afghanistan's production of heroin, then 90% of it would be gone, and only 10% would be a lot less heroin on the streets. Well, then it wouldn't be justification for all this war on drugs. It wouldn't be justification for a SWAT team busting in a door and shooting some guy in the head saying, we're protecting you from drugs, that's why I shot you in the head and killed you. There'd be less of a reason for that, and then, of course, all the other drugs, the same reason. You know, so to further the police state, to further wasting money on war on drugs, to further the militarization of the police in the U.S., we have to protect Afghanistan's production of opium, because if we didn't, then 90% of it will be gone, and 10% that's nothing. There's no justification for that. There is no justification in the first place. I know. But if a person's looking at the numbers, and then the amount of heroin on the street decreases by 90%, and he's like, well, why do you need all these APCs and sniper rifles and bazookas? Police forces do have bazookas. You know, all the time the police are attacked by APCs and tanks that need bazookas. We're getting off topic again, but all these topics are interrelated. That's how the global war on terror is interrelated to the war on drugs at home. The article ends with, in addition, opiate addiction in the form of both legal opiate painkillers and legal drugs is growing out of control in the U.S., with more opium being consumed within America than ever before. But partying hard, apparently. The onset of the epidemic coincided with U.S. occupation of Afghanistan, as between 2002 and 2013, U.S. heroin jumped by 63%, reaching a 20-year high. Heroin overdoses quadrupled in the U.S. within the same time frame. So, if you're an American and your loved one overdosed on heroin and killed themselves, guess who should you blame? You shouldn't blame the person who sold them that. They're just trying to make a living. They're just working the market. There's a demand for this product. He says, I'll do it, I need money. And he goes ahead and does it. What you should be mad at, U.S. government, because U.S. government is allowing heroin to be on the streets in the first place. But here's the libertarian aspect of it. I've already talked about this before, touched about it on other videos, but if you're so stupid, first of all, do heroin, do so much of it that you overdose on it, then that's just Darwin's law of evolution, weeding out the dumbasses of the world. You know? Let every drug be legal. Do whatever you fucking want. You are a free adult who should be able to choose what substances do and do not go inside your body. If you're a fucking dumbass, will just shoot up heroin, or then combining with cocaine to make speedball, yeah, in case you want to do something like that. How do I know about that? No, I'm not going to tell you. Then go ahead and fucking do it if you're so fucking dumb to do that. When you know that the chances of overdosing is so high because these drugs are so toxic, you fucking do it anyway. Well then, thank God, one less idiot on the planet. We need that. We need a lot less idiots on the streets because Jesus Christ, I just drive 15 minutes down the goddamn road, I run into 20 fucking idiots. Some might be high in heroin, how the fuck do I know? So in conclusion, yes, the whole thing is wrong. The article is completely correct, but it's pointing out all the stupid things that the U.S. government does and the consequences of its stupid actions. The war in Afghanistan is wrong. That's why we are still fighting to this day. Don't control the vast majority of the country. The vast majority of Afghans hate us. We spent billions and billions, trillions of dollars on this war. It could have been used for 10,000 other things that are more important in the U.S., but no, we spent it on killing Afghan rednecks over the desert. The war on drugs is bad because the U.S. is some of the ill-intended consequences of its foreign policies result in the war on drugs, result in drugs being on our streets. So war on drugs is wrong because they are producing something they're fighting against at home, which is completely fucking retarded, but that's the U.S. government for you. This was done by Republicans and Democrats alike. I always point out how they're in crazies on both sides. They're both stupid fucking retards on both sides. Bush started this war on terror. He started this, whole procedure of being a complete dumbass. Now, I'm not saying he was the first dumbass. I'm saying this whole war on terror fuels the war on drugs, which fuels the war on terror, which fuels the war on drugs, which fuels people hating us across the world. He started this war on terror. Obama continued it. Oh, and guess what? Trump's doing the same thing because Trump's not pulling out of Afghanistan. Trump isn't stopping the war on drugs. No, he's continuing it too. So no matter who you elect, both sides of the aisle, continue these completely fucking retarded policies. That's why I am a libertarian. I don't agree with any of these policies. We shouldn't be at war with any of the countries that we're at war with, because none of them have attacked us. So 64 countries we're at war at, none of them have attacked us. We shouldn't be at war with them. We shouldn't have the war on drugs at all. We should have all drugs be legal. Anyone can buy whatever they want, because as long as they're a consenting adult. And that would just solve so many of these problems and save so much money, but that wouldn't continue the U.S. global empire. The U.S. wouldn't be able to control 90% of the opium trade. It wouldn't be able to control all of the other important mineral resources in Afghanistan. It wouldn't justify the huge military budget, the huge police budget that it has. So even though these policies are objectively harmful to pretty much every single person involved, except the 1% who's controlling and pulling the strings, it's harmful to everyone else but them, they still do it because they don't care about you and me, the people caught up in the war on drugs, the people caught up in the global war on terror. They don't give a fucking shit. The global 1%, the one that control our government, the Republicans, Democrats, the elite on both sides of the aisle, they don't give a shit. They just want more power, more money, more control. They don't care whose lives they have to ruin or who they have to kill to do it. That's why I'm a libertarian. Get a libertarian in there. Let him try something else. It can't be much worse. We're already in debt and pissing people off and killing people. How much worse could you get? You've already tried. Switching from left wing, right wing, it doesn't work. They both continue the same fucking policies. Get a third party in there. See if it's any different. Give him a shot. He may be just as bad. I might be completely fooled by libertarian ideology. They might be just as bad as Republicans and Democrats. In this case, I'll just become a constitutionalist until I find a party that actually does what it fucking says to do. That's why I advocate third party. Every single time I vote, third party, every single time. If you're independent, voted for you. Because Republican Democrats don't give a shit about us. They continue to wreck the entire world. Get them out of office, get people who actually follow the Constitution and do what they say and actually look out for our interests.